Hey guys, welcome back to Techno Hack. This is Parikshit here, back again with another video. And in this video, we are going to learn about the preventions of file inclusion vulnerability from our local file inclusion vulnerability, where we have already learned like what is local file inclusion vulnerability. We learned how it works. We understood how to find and how to exploit this vulnerability, and we also understood how impactful this vulnerability is, right? Because we know that how attacker can try to access the content of any sensitive file, how he can gain access to the complete server by using this file or by cracking the password of this from using this sensitive file. So now is the time to understand how you can prevent from this vulnerability, right? So this is exactly now we are going to learn in this video. So if you are new to this channel and this video, please make sure to hit the subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you will not miss the next videos that I'm going to upload, because you're gonna get to learn about this computer tricks and tips, ethical hacking kind of stuff, as well as the web application and bug bounty, and for penetration testing you will get to learn about these vulnerabilities. Alright, so before moving to the prevention video, if you're new to this video and channel, please make sure you go back and check out my other videos where I have already covered like what is exactly the LFI vulnerability, how exactly we try to find and how we exploit it, so that you will understand this video much better. Alright guys, so let's get started. So here our first prevention is a web application should not use a user input as a source for file inclusion. So here it means that the injection point, which is exactly acting as a source for user input, because here exactly an attacker or any user can try to embed or try to update or replace any other sensitive file, and he can try to access the content of this file, right? So we have seen in the previous video and we have understood like how exactly attacker can try to replace the file name with the original file name. So that is nothing but your source, or that is nothing but your injection point, and that's exactly where a user is passing his input. So here what prevention we can do, or what a web application should make sure that it is not taking any user input from the particular source, right? So at this particular thing we can see that the source is the injection point, which is acting as a source, right? So this is the first prevention, guys. All right, so the another recommendation is a web application should not encode the base 64 or hexa to binary or binary to hexa, because an attacker can easily try to identify, or attacker can easily identify this kind of thing, and it is very easy to simply decode these kind of encoded paths, right? Where he can easily see these are the path and which is encoded. He can use a burp decoder or any online decoder, and he can try to simply decode it. So this is the recommendation that we can provide to not to encode this kind of path directly by using the base 64 or by using any other method. All right, and another important prevention here, what you can do is like whatever the path or whatever the file that you want to provide access to, or whatever the file that you want to display the content of on the web application. So here you can simply take this particular path out from there. You can put the path into the database, assign an ID to them, and simply provide this ID to your web application. So an end user is only able to see the ID, he cannot even see a path, right? So by that way user is not able to see the path, means he is not able to change the path, and he will not be able to fetch any content from any other sensitive file, right? So this is the another important thing that you can try to implement in your web application. Alright guys, so let's move to the another one. So this is also a very important prevention that you can implement in your web application, and this is nothing but the whitelisting of file and path which you want to give access to. Alright, let's say suppose you want to give access to few files. There will not be many files that you want to give access to, right? So here let's say suppose a contact.php, or let's say suppose there are many other files are there like 10 to 15 or maybe even 50 files are there. So you just whitelist them. you just make sure that you whitelist to only these files. So once you whitelist these 10, 40, 50 files, all other file or all other operating system files will be blacklisted automatically, right? So this will not be considered by your web application, and it will not be even visible to any end user even if he is trying to access it, right? So this is the important thing that you can even try to implement in your web application, and this will for sure prevent the LFI vulnerability to happen in your web application. Alright guys, so let's understand another what you can do again. So we know LFI happen because you are including the content of a file or a file on the web server. Now instead you do this, you can directly copy the content of this particular file and you put it into the database, and by that way only the content can be visible or is visible to the end user, right? He can only see the content, he is not able to see the file. So by that way only the content is accessible, and that way a user is not even able to change the path, or he is not able to access to the file, any other file or any other sensitive file from your web application or server, right? So this is another good prevention that is out there. But let's say suppose the number of files are more, like let's say suppose there are thousands of files, and it is not possible every time to copy or maybe to put the content of all this file into the database, because that will take a space from the database, right? So instead you go like this way. What you can do is like you can simply provide a path into the database, assign any ID to it, and you just provide that particular ID in your web application or in URL, right? So this is another good alternative that you can do for preventing the LFI. So this is it guys, like these are some major preventions that are out there for preventing your LFI vulnerability, which is nothing but your local file inclusion vulnerability. So I hope you understood this, the concept of the LFI, how it works, how we try to find and exploit it, and how we prevent this kind of vulnerabilities. Alright, so make sure to hit the like button guys if you like this video, and if you want to support me and if you want to appreciate my hard work, make sure you don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon as well. Alright, so I will meet you in another video where we will learn about the another web application vulnerabilities, right? Alright guys, so thanks for watching this video, have a great day and bye bye.